Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video. In today's video I'm going to be doing another art breakdown. I'm just going to be doing the same thing I do in the other videos, which is basically just showing this art piece, going through the time lapse of the art piece, showing the references and all the brushes and the mindset and everything I'm thinking along the way of how I went about creating this art piece. And this is the art piece that we have today, so let's just get straight into the breakdown. So for this particular art piece, I did say a prayer before I started this art piece for God to help me through this and to give me like an idea and to really guide me through it, and because it really does put my mind at ease, because I think people might think that the better you get at art, that you're just so confident every time you draw something, and that is absolutely not the case at all. Just about every time I start an art piece, I genuinely wonder if I'm even able to draw, and you're gonna see that self-doubt come into this art piece as well. The doubt never really leaves, but I put my faith in God to help me get through this art piece, and it really just puts my mind at ease. So what I'll do is at the beginning, if I can't really think of the Bible verses that I want, or an idea is not coming to me with the Bible verses in my head that I wanted to portray, I'll just go through Pinterest. I'll find like a few references, and the references I found were these ones, and I felt like these references will go really good with this story in the Bible of the prodigal son coming back to his father after leaving his house. And I wasn't very comfortable with doing this art piece in particular because it's kind of a lot different than the art pieces and the Bible verses that I would usually go for, but I just felt like sending it anyways, and I'm glad I did. So these were the references that I had to choose from, and I went with this reference in particular, the composition of it, because the other ones had way too much emphasis on the environment, and I wanted to have more of an intimate moment with the two characters rather than to have like a far off point of view from them. So what I would start doing from there is to very roughly like block in the characters with these little egg shapes to get the composition going. And as I said in the previous video, with my artworks, I like to work from big to small, so get the idea and then the composition, and then start blocking in the colors and the values that are going to be in the composition as well, from working from big to small. And keep in mind, I wasn't expecting this to be a digital painting. I was really just trying to get like a rough draft on the iPad and then transfer it to acrylic later, but the digital paintings started to actually look decent, and I just decided to send it anyways with the digital painting. So at the beginning I did kind of struggle because I'm not really going about painting this in the way that I would paint this if I was fully committed to just making it digital, because I had in the back of my mind that this is going to be an acrylic painting, so that kind of did affect the way that I kind of approached this and the colors I used. And I started having like a little bit of a mental breakdown at this point at the beginning, because just about every art piece goes through like a very ugly phase, and it can be really tempting to like give in to self-doubt and wonder if you really went down the right path in life, and to really have like an existential breakdown almost, because what you're doing just doesn't feel like it's working, and you wonder if you've completely forgotten how to draw, even though you spent so much time in your life like trying to learn how to draw. So it can be very disheartening. At this point, I'm just kind of trying out a bunch of new things. I really do like drawing clouds. I didn't expect to enjoy drawing clouds. And also keep in mind that I am using the soft brush on Procreate for most of this drawing, just because I personally just like the brush a lot. And for the clouds, what I usually do is I'll go in with like some sort of dark tone for the underlay. Then I'll go in with white and kind of make like a little dome cloud shape, and then start going in with a smudge tool with the soft blend as well, and start shifting around the the white that I put on top to kind of make like a cloud shapes, and it usually works out pretty well, but keep in mind I have been practicing this for a little bit, so it is kind of a little bit more intuitive for me. And here I'm just blocking in the colors that I want to see, while also having my mental breakdown and wondering if this was even a good idea and if I'm about to just waste my time on this. And again, just really going in with the smudge tool and just smudging the clouds all around to make like a cloudy shape, if you will. And I'm again still playing with the composition, so I make the right side black, kind of because I don't want too much focus on that side. I want to keep that side dark and to keep the viewer's attention more on like the two characters going towards each other, and not so much on the right side, because the right side just kind of like blank space and I don't want it to be too colorful. And so I made it just black, and I realized that it would be a good idea to put like the Bible verse in that spot. So I did, and I also used the distort tool or the warp tool to also move the Bible verses at an angle so it's facing the characters, because I just thought that looked a lot better personally. And then I also like putting some stars behind it because it does look like a night sky, and just kind of just as I'm going through this artwork, I'm just kind of, I have like the main composition of what I want everything to look like, and as I'm going through the artwork, I'm just kind of adding in like ideas as I go, as they just pop up in my mind. And I'm also just trying out new things on different layers to see what works and what doesn't work as I'm going through this. And as you can see with the clouds, with the character all the way in the back where the yellowish and the pink is, I'm going in with the smudge tool, and I'm making like little tiny smudges around the clouds to kind of give it more of like a cloud-esque misty feel for it. And I also chose pink and this light blue because they really go together pretty well. It was a little bit accidental, but I also used this reference to get those colors as well. And I wanted to make this artwork kind of loving, so I think pink and that kind of like baby blue really go well together. They have like they're very good complementary colors. And I always struggle with grass. I'm not very good at grass. I'm not very good at environments. This is doing artworks like this that are kind of like illustrations are kind of new to me, so I'm not too comfortable with all of this, but I'm trying to make it work, and I'm trying to just learn and practice on the fly. As you can see with the flowers, I'm not really too sure what I'm doing either. I'm kind of just learning again on the fly, and then I use a reference later on to help me out to not make the flowers look like they were drawn by like a 5th grader. And I'm using this brush for the grass, and to also smudge the grass to give it like a grassy look, obviously. I'm also using these tools as well to kind of smudge the flowers around, to not put too much emphasis on like the shape of the flowers, but just kind of to get a feel of what the flowers are there and like what they vaguely look like. And here I'm just kind of blocking in the silhouette of the character all the way in the back. I kind of messed up at the beginning, but no worries, because I just use the lasso tool to select the character, and then I just elongate the character a little bit because he was a little bit too short. And then I love putting like these huge like cast shadows on characters sometimes when the light is right behind them, because I just think it looks cool, and it just makes it look a little more interesting as well. And I also like it as well because it feels like the shadow of the character really goes with the verse, and it feels like the shadow is like reaching out to the other character as well. And then I use this reference to draw like the running kid on the bottom, because there's no way that I'm going to be able to draw this gesture without any sort of reference. And again, I'm just using the soft blend brush to make this character, and then I use the smudge tool using the same brush to kind of like start shaping the character. And I used that tool. I use a soft blend brush, just a black brush at the beginning. Not really too worried about getting the character exactly correct. I'm more of just trying to get the gesture correct, and then I go in with the smudge tool to really like just refine everything to make it actually look not so blobby. Then again, I select the character and then just make him a little bit smaller because he looks a little bit too big in my opinion there. And then I'll go in with the same brush and I'll use white and then start putting highlights on the character in the direction of the other character to kind of give it more form and to make the character look a little bit more interesting than just being straight up black. And I kept the other character that's closer to the light just straight up black just because he's very close to the light. So I would just like to keep him like as a silhouette. And then at this point at the end, I'll just refine all the things that I didn't refine at the beginning and just go through everything to make sure everything's kind of more tidy. And then I put this little cool signature that I got from like some signature generator at the end that I really like, which is just my name. My name is Anthony, so I just put Ant there, and I think it looks pretty cool. In my opinion, I never thought I'd have a cool signature, so that's awesome. And that is it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing, leaving a like, leaving a comment, whatever you want to do really. That is it for this video. Peace.